Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Haidt.
And I'm Chelsea Duff, and we are doing our very special month. We're doing B-cember. We're doing a very special episode. This is our Christmas episode.
Christmas!
And we had a lot of choices of Christmas movies to do for this month. A lot of them are low budget and bad, so kind of qualifies for B-cember,
For sure.
But when we were researching what to do next, one film in particular stood out to us. And I guess it was a popular pick this year because Homies of Horror just did it too. So our besties are over there on the same brain wavelength.
Look at us, same brain.
I know. I was so excited when I saw that. We have to listen to theirs later, but I was like, I can't listen yet. I don't want to be influenced. But it's the film everybody's talking about this year.
It's so true.
2005's Santa's Sleigh.
And you want to know why everybody is talking about it?
Because of Mannheim?
Yeah. Sleigh.
Because of Sleigh or
because of...
I was trying to anticipate your joke, but I guess we weren't on the same brave wavelength in that moment.
Chelsea, listen. Everybody loves notorious wrestler Mannheim Steamroller, okay?
Actually, I reached out to my friend.
Bill Goldberg.
They're nemesis. I reached out to my friend, Steph, who I saw the Black Phone with. She likes wrestling, got into wrestling. And so I was like, she's going to know all about this. And she said, actually, his name is just Mannheim, and the Steamroller is his signature move. So that's where the confusion was coming in.
My God. So you guys never explained this joke to the listeners, too. The joke is that we were at a party, and I told Chelsea that I went and saw Mannheim Steamroller, the band. And then Chelsea said, that sounds like a wrestler. I didn't hear her. And then it turned into a whole fucking thing.
You came up to me. You hadn't seen Mannheim Steamroller yet. You were seeing them, the wrestling show the next day.
Okay.
You came up to me and you said, do you know Mannheim Steamroller? Your parents probably like white people things. And I was like,
the wrestler?
Yeah, it sounds like a wrestler. That's my best guess. I think white people like wrestling. My parents don't really like wrestling, but my dad did know who Goldberg was because apparently he's related to my dad's bestie. And they also knew who Mannheim Steamroller was. I asked them last night in the car. And
yes, because all old white people know who Mannheim Steamroller is because they love that Christmas music, okay? If you've ever listened to Coast 103.5 Christmas, then you'll know about the incredible band that's also a Renaissance band, Mannheim Steamroller. Not a wrestler, but it should be a wrestler.
They also knew
Maybe
Mannheim
I'll
the wrestler.
become a wrestler.
So
I might get into wrestling.
That does sound like a wrestler's name.
It does, but it's not yet.
But it is.
Phrase.
You saw his fight.
I saw a beautiful drummer man who had earrings and shoulder-length gray hair, and that's what I saw at Mannheim Steamroller.
The way you're saying it sounds like a wrestler.
There was also two beautiful women in long flowing gowns who just stared at the audience and smiled the whole time.
Girls.
God damn it.
I think the Haim sisters' father should become a wrestler, and he can be called Mannheim.
Mannheim.
Haim sisters, if you're listening, it's right there.
Haim sisters, if you're listening, hello again. Nice to see you.
I'll let you know that I've met that man. I've met Haim's
You've
dad
met
and Haim's mom.
You've met Mannheim?
I've met Mannheim.
Okay, here's the thing. Monica and I watched this movie, Santa's Sleigh, together last night, and we also watched a different holiday movie, horror movie, maybe. We were kind of discussing a little bit.
I think it's a horror movie for sure.
I think it is for sure a horror movie if you go in thinking it's a horror movie, which we did, but I wonder if we had gone in thinking it was some other genre, if we would have a different experience of it. Anyway, it's called Silent Night, and we discovered there is a 2012 movie called Silent Night. There is a 2020 movie called Silent Night. There's a 2021 movie called Silent Night. And there's a 2023 movie called Silent Night. And it just is reminding me of all the different Mannheims out there in the world. So I guess it's just like one of those things, you know?
No, it's totally one of those things. And also about Silent Night, we watched the 2021 one, which has Keira Knightley in it.
Has
and
literally
Lily Rose
so
Depp.
many people.
Literally everyone that you could ever imagine. It has Jojo Rabbit, the little boy from Jojo Rabbit. We were just talking about
Kirby
Jojo
Baptiste
Rabbit.
Howell.
Yep, it has everyone that you've ever seen in your entire life.
Lucy Punch.
You'll recognize every single face. And it was like a bangerang. Like it's an AMC Plus exclusive, so no one has fucking seen it. I've never heard anyone talk about it before, but it was like really good. We really liked it. And so I think it was very special and smart of us, though I don't think we were thinking about it at the time. We did a double feature and we watched Santa's Sleigh second, and so it was the B movie of the night because it was the second and definitely shittier movie that we watched last night. So now it's officially a B movie, and so it works for B-cember. So yeah, we're geniuses.
Any movie's a B movie if you make it a B movie.
If you play it second in a double feature.
Yeah. I knew we had to watch it second, though, just because when we did a double feature last time when Sydney was in town two Sydneys ago, and we watched Malignant and then The Descent 2 afterwards, I just kept thinking about The Descent 2 the whole time we were recording. So I was like, I have to keep Santa's Sleigh most fresh in my memory. We can't watch Santa's Sleigh first and then something else after, because then I'm gonna obscure my details.
I still can't stop thinking about Silent Night. That show was fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Watch it and talk to us about it.
You know, we took some movie watching supplements, and then watching this movie after that one, we kept being like, wait, I keep forgetting like the tone and like that this isn't that same similar premise, even though like, you know, there are obviously some similarities in Christmas horror movies that just carry through the genre.
But this one was something special. This one was something
special.
Something that is like I don't know, somebody's worst nightmare or greatest dream, you know. It's got a lot of hellish elements that I appreciated.
This movie's made for men. Like,
yeah.
There's just like some movies that you're like, oh yes, men are the target audience for, and this is one of them.
Well, it's like a action titty movie.
Yeah, it is an action titty movie. If you don't know what it's about, I will read you the IMDb logline. I can't tell if this was like genuine marketing copy or if somebody just slapped this up here, because like part of it's a little compelling and part of it's a little someone was just speaking it out loud and it was being transcribed by a secretary. But it reads, Santa Claus is actually a demon who lost a bet with an angel, so he becomes the giver of toys and happiness. But when the bet is off, he returns to his evil ways. Which I would say, you know, just about covers it. And like, slay for that little log line. It is kind of an interesting premise. You know, there's much to be made about the fact that Satan and Santa are just a little shuffly with those letters.
We're a letter away. I want to just point out. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, isn't Santa like Satan's son in this movie? Like that's
in this movie, yeah.
His
love.
God gets an immaculate conception, so does Satan. There must always be balance, light and dark in the universe, etc. You know. But just like in The Devil Went Down to Georgia, Santa inherited the trait from his dad that he likes to make a bet with all of the hubris of being of the Satan lineage. You know, he doesn't think he can be beat, but sometimes he can be. And the problem with this movie is that, you know, the terms of the bet have expired. And so that's when we're really starting to see mischief take hold.
Yeah, and I just want to point out really quickly the tagline for this movie. It's he's making a list, pray you're not on it. And I like that. I think that's nice.
Honestly,
they do have a lot of
me too. I have a list and you better hope you're not on it.
We were just talking about it last episode. Your death-proof style enemies list.
My enemies list. Everybody needs one. It's really cathartic. My therapist agrees.
Hey, I'm more power to you. I just hope that you don't start killing them. And if you do, don't talk about it on the podcast because I don't want you to go to jail.
Yeah, when she says
I won't get caught.
Ways to get away, she's only sharing the ones she hasn't personally used yet. She's not gonna broadcast her secrets like that. She's saving the good stuff for herself, obviously.
No, of course not. But anyway, I mean, this movie follows in the footsteps of famous horror predecessors that have been big, huge hits, where they have all the marketing, have all the famous people in it that all die in the first scene. Because I thought this movie starred Fran Drescher, and I was so mad. But also that opening scene was a fucking banger. Really, it was really beautiful. It rivaled like a scary movie opener.
We love SAG after president Fran Drescher in anything.
I love the nanny. I do love the nanny.
Yeah, her outfit, style icon. She's
and
incredible.
Rebecca Gayheart was there of Scream 2 fame and
of
urban legend
fame. Yeah, she's incredible. It also has that guy who I don't know. Oh, no. That guy is Chris Kattan. His name in the movie is Jason Mason. That's so funny.
Wow, incredible.
I misread so many. And who's the dad? The dad too is also somebody that I recognize. So I was like, these are every single person here except for the sisters. I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Every single person. I was like, you're like an early 2000s star. Good job. Oh, Robert Culp. That's who it was Grandpa.
Yeah, that's Grandpa.
Oh, I totally misread it. Wait, no, what?
James Caan. There he is. He's listed in the uncredited.
Sorry,
You got to scroll all the way down.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. His picture when he's young, when the man who played the grandpa is young, looks a little bit like the guy who is in the opening scene. Because he looks much younger than he does in the movie. So that was my bad. It's not that guy. Anyway, the opening scene though is something really beautiful. Like an art film in and of itself, some would say. It starts it off really lovely. Little details that I really enjoyed right off the bat. The dog and the dog's bed. Those are two things that I really like.
Yeah.
The
super easy to overlook, but when the dog got on the dog bed, my attention was drawn to it so fiercely. I was like, that is very sly.
Dogs should have an iconic bed. Also, I was really confused when we first were watching this because I was reeling from the last movie, so I wasn't like totally paying attention. But I thought that Jason Mason, played by Chris Kattan, was supposed to be pretending to be a gay guy.
I had to rewatch to catch what was going on there.
I did not realize that he was, what's her name? Rebecca Gayhart's husband. I did not catch that at all. I thought he was pretending to be gay, but he was secretly fucking Fran Drescher, and that is not at all what was happening. But it is cathartic. There are a whole bunch of douchebag people who are all revealed as being douches right from the very beginning. Fran Drescher.
What's wrong with the daughters? Just because they want to be spoiled and get Prada instead of Kate Spade?
They say racist shit. Literally immediately.
Oh yeah, they do say that.
They say racist shit, and they also, like, I was listening to it and I said, like, and thank God poor people work harder than us, or something like that. That's part of what they're saying in their prayer before they get cut off by Santa coming down the chimney. So they suck.
Yeah, they do have that one joke where she was like, thank God I'm not. Oh, also, thank you for not making us poor or Samoan. And then the husband mouths, what's Samoan? And I liked the what's Samoan joke because that was just, he's an idiot.
But also, that's just like so random too.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
There were so many things. I was like, this movie came out in 2005. I was like, they're just saying, like, they're like, you know what's really funny? When you do something that's racist or anti-Semitic, people fucking love that. Let's go crazy.
They were just,
and
they were making
misogynistic.
jokes about everybody. They were making jokes about the Jews. They were making jokes about the Amish, who were not even present to defend themselves. They were making
those were
jokes
Orthodox
about,
Jewish people, and they're like, they're Amish.
Hasidim. The Hasid.
They were just
they're Hasidim.
taking shots left and right, and then they were also they did take some shots at the gays as well. You know, well, although technically I would say by James Caan calling, what did you say, that Chris Kattan calling him half of a fag, I think he's canonically bisexual, so that is
I think so, too.
representation at least, you know.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, so that's, you know, we got to take our wins where we get them.
Exactly. We need a canonically gay person in this film, and there he is. He's a bisexual man, representation.
Bisexual king.
Mm-hmm.
We love to see that.
But yeah, they had a whole Jewish crew in that opening Christmas scene, which was fun, at least.
Oh yeah, like they're making all these like Jewish jokes, but like 90% of the actors in the film are Jewish,
including Goldberg.
Including Goldberg. So you know that's fun.
It's truly wild thinking about all the stuff that we could do back in the day. That like,
well,
you can't do any of that shit now.
They can do this now. Still, I think movies like this still come out now.
Yeah, but
not
like
quite like this. There's that Y2K je ne sais quoi, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you would casually have like your female love interest calling the other guy the R word. I don't think that would come. Although, like, not to say that the R word is coming back because it should stay out, but I do feel like there's been a resurgence of use lately, and I don't know like what that is about. Like, you guys stop.
Hot trend 2024. The R word is back.
No, why are they doing that? I don't understand. It sounds so dated to me also. Like, we got rid of that when I was in middle school. So don't know what's happening with you guys. Stop using that.
Like, as
they think it's
Gen
vintage,
Z, of course.
You know?
Maybe. The 2000s are back. That's so true.
Get a fucking digital camera and call it a day. Like, you don't need to say
Make
that.
1,000 Facebook albums for every event that you go to.
Exactly.
Like, there are other ways to be vintage.
There are other ways to recapture the white.
Go to the Mac store and get photo booth up and use their little filters. I mean, come on. There's like a lot of material here.
Monica and I did actually take some photo booth photos. Like,
they're really cute. They're
bring those
cute.
back. Actually,
it doesn't count if you don't take them in the Apple Store, though.
It always counts.
But anyway, okay. Back to Santa's Sleigh. I will say this: I think that the kills in this movie are hella fun. They're super fun because
there's some really good ones.
Comes in swinging, like, you know, he's got to come down the chimney. I love that he bursts through the mantle of the chimney. It's a very wrestler entrance, and he is a wrestler after all. And the IMDb trivia really taught me a lot about Goldberg, but I should have done more independent research just about Goldberg because I don't know anything about WWE, as evidenced by me not knowing about Mannheim Steamroller.
Yeah, you know about Goldberg's nemesis now.
Now I know. It's the only thing that I know.
I just Goldberg. Fun fact, was a huge wrestling fan as a child. Like, went to numerous like pay-per-view events, WrestleManias. One time we were front row at a pay-per-view event and I got cursed out by Chris Jericho because I was heckling him so much because I had my hair braided and he also had his hair braided.
Oh my god, he's loving your look.
Well, I literally kept being like, "You little bitch, you have the same hairstyle as a little girl, la, la, la." And he got in my face and was like mad, and the announcers were talking about it. They're like, "Why is he harassing this child in the audience?" My dad was so
why is this child in the audience harassing a professional doing his job, Sydney?
Sydney will always be doing that shit. She's a natural born heckler.
I'm a natural born bully, and nobody likes to bully men more than I do. Okay.
Okay, yeah, there's nothing more fun for me than lucha libre, so I really want to get into WWE. I'm not even joking. This is the natural progression for me, and so now that I've seen Mannheim Steamroller, I'm leaning into the joke now. It's really opened the door for me, and I'm really excited. Well, I had no idea what was going on at the end of last episode, and I was just like, we've been recording for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We need to stop. But yeah, so I don't know. I love that Santa was a fucking wrestler. It was so funny. And I loved how fucking brutal the kills were in this. Like, there were a lot of things where I was like, this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life. But there are a lot of things that I was like, this is fantastic. Thank God that this exists. Like, he just comes in immediately, stabs dad right through the fucking hands, you know. People are getting impaled in the throat.
On the table.
Yes. That was sick. I loved how Chris Kattan tried to fight him. And he does this little,
and he does it so badly,
hand thing that I'm just like, what are you doing, boy? And he's just immediately defeated. It's hilarious. But Fran's death is really something iconic.
My favorite one of those deaths is the one of the girls who faints and then impales herself on the dog bed through the neck.
I love that one
good.
Too.
Iconic.
The spiky little. I like that the dog bed had little holes on it. You know what I mean? I forget what those are called. A 4-poster little dog bed. There we go.
Yeah, it was. I love that.
You know, it got her in the end. Not that she would have survived the attack anyway. Maybe it's the best way to go. Just fainting you're out, and Santa doesn't have to hands-on kill you, light your head on fire. But you know, he really kicked it off with a bang.
And it was really beautiful that, like, not only was Fran flambéed, she was then drowned in a carafe of eggnog. That was really...
What a big punch bowl. What a beautiful punch bowl.
It was so
beautiful.
Poetic.
It was poetic beginning to the movie, which it needs because it slows down pretty hardcore after that for a while. There's a lot of meandering time. But I have to bring this up because I looked at it again, Chelsea. So I'm going to fight you right now. Chelsea was like, Monica, you don't know what you're talking about. But the opening credits, if you look at the opening credits, it's supposed to look like the book we see later, which is like the story of Santa Claus. I don't know what it is. Some angel book that he has. So like that, it's the book that he makes the Necronomicon joke about. And I was like,
the Book of Claus.
Yeah, this Book of Claus. That's what it is. And in the actual movie, the book is written in Icelandic, apparently, because like Santa has like Norse mythology connections. Love that. We'll look into it more. Didn't for this episode, sorry. But in this fucking opening credits, they have what looks like pages from the book, but like interspersed in it is like director of photography, Dan Mann or something like that. But the rest of the words, I just made it up. It's not, sorry, director of photography.
Sorry, director of photography.
It's not Dan Mann. It's not Dan Mann. But it's literally just gibberish. It's not Icelandic. There are no vowels. It's just like F, 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 J, G, G, A, D, blah, 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 blah. And it was pissing me off so much because it was just in like an ornate old-timey font. So they're like, this is fine. I was like, they phoned this shit in. And Chelsea was just like, no, Monica. You don't know every language. That could be a language. And I was like, bitch.
I was
reading like, look, it says
the possibility that it could be a language that I was not familiar. I don't know every language, but I did call Monica. I was like, yeah, you bitch at one point, and I did feel even in the moment that it came off a little harsh. But I was like, whatever. Sometimes you have to stick by your choices.
She was trying to cancel me again, but I don't know.
Monica
I could get
canceled. Strong. She's fighting back. Yeah,
I could get canceled at any moment. So, but that was not Icelandic.
I was like curious about those, looking at them when I was doing not a full rewatch, but a reskim, if you will. And I think they maybe just like, those are the credits. They have all of the credits in there, like everything except for the credits in that text is just consonants. And I wonder if they just like put those together for the credits and then bailed on part of the design aspect. Like, they thought the names would stand out more than they did, or they were going to do the names in a different color, and then they decided it looked
like
bad.
shit.
Yeah, because they just like slapped the credits on like over on top of those. So it was interesting to see that they kind of like did a twofer on the credits, the opening credits. But
do we know what the budget was for this movie? Because I feel like it was like $10. No, there's more than that. They had an animal actor. It had to be at least something. They better paid that animal actor well. They had 2. Oh, also, sorry, we didn't even mention that the first person to die was the dog.
oh yeah, he punched the dog.
It immediately failed the does the dog survive thing. But I don't know what the budget was for this, but there are like, you could tell it was very low budget. Like this whole movie, 99% of it was filmed in 28 days. So it was like they slapped this shit together.
The opening scene they filmed in LA, I think in like one day. So
oh yeah, they filmed that like after the fact, like not with the rest of the cast around or anything like that. Of course, they're not gonna make Fran travel to fucking Rando Town, Canada.
They said we will make relatively unknown at this time Emily DeRaven travel, but everybody else will just do one day for them to come to Los Angeles.
That's only one scene. They can make it happen. But like there's sound issues in this movie. Like there's this one scene where like they fuck up the grandma's sound or grandpa's sound so bad and it was driving me crazy. I thought it was just like in the moment I was hearing it weird, but I listened again and I was like, no, they had sound issues. So it's low budget, but we love that. And it makes it more of a B movie, So it fits the theme even better. But I love how bonkers batshit insane the concept for this movie is. It's like Santa is the devil's son. We established that already. We love that. He's naturally evil. He's only nice because he lost a bet. And just like that the grandpa like is an angel. Like he's a biblically accurate angel and he gave up his angel wings to be because he fell in love.
If he was biblically accurate.
I know. Oh my god, I saw a TikTok today of someone made a biblically accurate angel food cake, and it was so disgusting. They made the icing look like skin somehow. It was so gross. It's so gross, but also beautiful, and I'd eat it. So he's not a biblically accurate angel, but he's an old man angel. But he is obsessed with doomsday prepping. But the doomsday prepping is actually preparations for Santa.
He's ahead of his time.
He knows what the deal is. He knows when the bet is up. He told his young grandson, Nicholas, you better be careful what you ask for this year from Santa, because he knows this is not nice Santa anymore. He knows this is the year.
So
and he's
funny.
Just trying to hunker down and hide out. And it's not a fortress, as he tells you. It's just a sanctuary, or whatever he says.
But he's also like just into making little contraptions, because there's this like throwaway line that I heard this time that I hadn't heard before, where like they're trying out that nutcracker thing that like shoots whatever lasers. I don't remember something.
Lasers.
ChestNUTS that are lasers.
They explode if you don't puncture them before you heat them, apparently. I don't know if that's true, but
I hope that's
it sounded true enough.
But like, I'll make sure I puncture mine next time I roast
was like,
the chestnut on an open fire.
Yeah, maybe that's what nutcrackers are for. I just assumed people were eating them raw like peanuts, but then Monica last night was like, they roast them, and I was like, that is what they say in the songs. So
yeah.
I've had them; they're really good.
They're
but anyway,
very popular in Italy.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them in Croatia. They just had dudes on the street.
Yeah, dudes on the street
just them up.
Selling roasted chestnuts.
It was great. I got some roasted chestnuts. Adam got something from a bakery, and I was fine, but a seagull attacked Adam and took his thing from the bakery. So chestnuts for the win.
Chestnut seagull proof.
Exactly. Seagulls don't like that, which makes sense. But the other thing that the grandpa invented, they're like, put this on the list with the other bad inventions, like brown toilet paper.
Horrible.
So he's just doing little things in his free time. So they have a poop joke. There's a poop joke.
He was not a human. He was an angel. So, like, I think it's kind of Arthur Weasley-ish, maybe, where it's like you know how Arthur was really into the Muggle stuff because that's just not his sphere of interest previously. The angel just like came along and now he's like, you humans are so interesting. I want to know more about your contraptions. I want to maybe try some of my own.
And who could blame him for having a natural curiosity? He's been alive for 1,000 years. So, and he's been an old man that whole time.
And he maybe invented curling.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, he might have invented curling.
That was one of my theories when Monica and I were watching. I developed a theory that didn't pay off, that all of the Winter Olympic sports were going to be included in this movie. And that was not the case. It was mainly based on the curling.
Look, a ski-doo. Another, like, it was the ski-doo scene, not the Zamboni scene, the ski-doo scene. And she was like, oh, another Olympic sport. And I'm like, there's no ski-dooing in the
Do you know all the Olympic sports and all the languages in the world? What are you, some kind of Wikipedia page?
I'm fucking genius, as you know. I'm now the brain of the pod this week.
Trying to reclaim my title.
Sorry, it's luge. You were thinking of luge. I don't think you're allowed to have a motor in a lot of the things in the Olympics, unfortunately.
But they did skeet shooting as well, which I can only assume is a Winter Olympic sport.
It's
that
not
one I don't know.
Skeet shooting, but there is an Olympic sport where like
the ski and shoot, whatever that one's called.
Yeah. Yes, I love that one. It's so neat.
Winter Olympics are so fun. I do love watching curling and have been to like many a bar where everybody's like, do I fully understand how it does? No. Will I cheer for anything? Yes, absolutely.
Winter bocce ball.
Of course. I like getting really into the Olympics. It's fun. But yeah, I mean, this movie is just like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. And I just want to know.
Dick joke after ball joke after cock joke.
As it should be.
There are a lot of good cock and ball jokes. Goldberg is an incredible actor, which makes sense because WWE is fake and they're just acting.
What?
They are doing dangerous things. That's why they die sometimes, but they do stage it all out beforehand. Did you know?
Sure.
I've
seen that Billy Madison.
That's why it doesn't scare me. That's why I can watch it. I can't watch MMA or whatever because they're actually fucking trying to kill each other. That's no.
They are. Goldberg should have had the acting career that John Cena has, or Dave Bautista.
Yeah, or The Rock.
Well, let's not shame Dave Bautista because I like his acting career. But
I do too.
That's why I said had a career should have been a peer of them.
That's what
I thought you were saying instead of them. Maybe maybe that was my bad.
Chelsea's getting real defensive of Dave Bautista.
He didn't say that at all.
I like him.
I need you to calm down, Chelsea.
Like, leave Dave Bautista alone.
You're taking this in a negative way. Sydney was saying she wanted to raise Bill Goldberg up onto the same pedestal. They can share the spotlight. There only should be more wrestlers in the limelight these days.
Are actors.
Okay. Thank you. I understand you. Don't worry. But yeah, I mean, we have our main guy. We haven't even talked about him. Nicholas Yulson is our main guy. And I was looking at him and I was like, he looks really familiar. And I hypothesized 40 different combinations of people that he looked like. But then I found out it's actually just because I've seen him in a lot of things before. Do you remember when we did Don't Worry, Darling?
Yes.
Do you remember the one guy who's like a newcomer to the weird cult thing? And he is super lame and he sucks and he's a little scrawny guy? That's this guy, Douglas Smith. And he's also Shailene Woodley's like toy boyfriend for like a second in Big Little Lies.
In season 2.
I didn't watch season 2 of Big Little Lies.
Oh, it was good. And he was also in Big Love, which I haven't watched, but he was in it from 2006 to 2011. So I would assume he's in it a lot. And then it also stars our girl, Emily DeRaven from Remember Me, which I finally watched, and it did ruin my life, even though I knew it was going to happen. And she's so fucking cute. She's absolutely adorable in this, and I just feel bad for her that she had to be in this movie, you know?
I feel like she had like a really big career not long after this, though. You know what I mean? Like she had Lost. She had Once Upon a Time was like a little bit later after that, but she was Belle in Once Upon a Time. You know, like
I forgot she was in that.
She had a thriving career for a minute. I thought she was gonna, maybe she actually was just a very popular internet girly. Also, I could just be projecting Hollywood success onto the fact that internet girlies liked her a lot. But she was giving in this movie. She absolutely was so giving in this movie.
She was one of the better. She has one of my favorite lines in the entire movie, and there's so many lines. Know what I mean?
It's all lines. It's all like one-liners. It's just one-liner after everybody's just, they're not having conversations. They're trading one-liners.
They're just doing bazingas back at each other, which honestly I feel is how we speak a lot of the time as well.
Yes, every word that we say is a nugget of gold. So yes, it is just one-liner after one-liner. No, but when I was watching this, I was like, that should be the opening quote. That should be the opening quote. No, that should be the opening quote. No, that one should be the closing quote. That one. Like literally, like everything Goldberg said was something that we could choose. So no clue what we're gonna actually choose.
Actually, we're not gonna have a podcast anymore. We're just, this episode is just gonna be
full audio of the movie,
a compilation of our favorite one-liners.
We just cut out everybody else's line except for Goldberg's lines.
The movie is only like an hour and 17 minutes. That is probably going to be shorter than whatever this podcast ends up being, because realistically, it's shorter than most of our episodes. So
we do like the chitty chat.
We just sub
I'm
it in
gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to keep us right in the same amount of time. All right, just let you know. But here's the thing with this movie: there, you can say what you want about Goldberg. He's a star for sure in his own right, but he might be upstaged, not by Fran Drescher, but by that bison. I was freaking out that there's a bison.
Monica loved it.
Wow.
I like it better than the reindeer, actually.
It should be bison. That's so metal. It was very metal of Santa. I liked how metal Santa was in this. He is the son of Satan, so it just makes sense. But like I liked his like big powerful belt. I love that like the belt also looked like a WWE belt. Like I thought that was fun. I like that his hat was made of leather. Like there are just some fun details of the costuming. I liked his beard and his hair. I thought it looked nice. And I thought he looked hot. Everyone kept calling him fat the whole time. And I was like, I get it.
It was the early aughts. And know what I mean? Like he was just muscular.
Santa's supposed to be like, they always talk about his belly like a bowl full of jelly or something. Isn't that one of the songs? Did I make that up? People have said that. Maybe I'm gonna Google it in a second and we'll see. But I've heard about that. He's got his cheeks are rosy and his belly is like a bowl full of jelly. No, anyone? Okay, we're moving on. So I don't know that's why they kept calling him fat the whole time. And I was just like, that is a man that is about to end your life and he's gonna crush you. And also, you should be praising his body, and then maybe he won't kill you. Maybe if someone had just been nice to Santa, he would have changed his tune. But he was insulted left and right. And so, of course, he had to commit mass murders.
He was not, he was obviously on a killing spree. And like, once we get to the lore in this movie, we learn that his whole thing is doing a day of slayings. But he wasn't
a national holiday.
Day of Slay.
He wasn't completely indiscriminate, you know, like after the opening scene, we get Mrs. Talbot and the deli being terrible to everybody. And he wasn't even gonna come after her necessarily. He was like, get out of my way on the road. It's only when she was rude that he rode her up. Word am I looking for?
Chelsea, that he actually said, move bitch, get out the way, to quote an iconic Ludacris song. Move, bitch, get out of the way.
Yeah, but that's not, I'm gonna kill you. He said, get out my way. And then when she didn't, he was like, okay, now I kill you.
Wait, but there is a really funny thing with that. I have to find it in the trivia. Apparently, what she said to him, she was like, suck it, or something like that. And apparently one of his like big WWE rivalry guys would like say that, and that was like one of his lines. So it, you know, it infuriated him, reminded him of his alternate life where he's not Santa Claus and he is Goldberg.
Here's the
WWE
thing,
star.
This death actually was Bill Goldberg committing murder because fuck this old lady, right? She had it coming.
He wasn't in character in this scene. They were just the cameras were just running, and
she was so mean. And also, she underpaid them at the deli.
Yeah,
rude. Also, I just want to vindicate myself really quickly. Hi, Chelsea. Have you ever heard of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," the classic fucking story? Here's a quote. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. I'm not insane.
Monica is coming with the receipts left and right this episode.
I Googled bowl full of jelly and I was like, and that was the first thing that came up. Nothing weird. So that seems like a win.
Well, there you go.
But
okay. No, there's a lot of wrestling stuff on this movie because there was that catchphrase. There's like another thing at the end. There was like 4 or 5 different wrestlers who were in this movie, including Goldberg. But I found a Tumblr called Wrestling at the Movies. And it said Goldberg, of course, was Santa Claus. Zeus, who his real name is something different. The guy you were talking about, Monica, was the gas station attendant. I guess his wrestling name was Zeus. What's his real name?
Tony Lister Jr. That guy is a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was a wrestler. That's cool. I just know him because he's in Dark Knight. I recognize his face. He's in Dark Knight, that guy. He's the gas attendant, like we said. And he's also in I just looked it up. Christ.
Zootopia. The Fifth Element.
No, The Fifth Element.
Centipede 3.
No. Whoa, oh wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna watch that. But yeah, he's in The Fifth Element. That's why I recognized him from.
Little Nicky. Oh my god, so many Adam Sandler movies are relevant today. Well, that's also the Son of Satan, so that makes sense.
So he was a wrestler
too? He's in
too?
2 Son of Satan movies. And yeah, he's also a wrestler named Zeus. That's his wrestling name.
Wow. Oh, man. He's a beautiful man. He passed away in 2020. I'm so sad.
That is sad.
Icon. But the other really cool one is we got to see Goldberg's signature move in this movie. And I did not know that because I don't know anything about him. But apparently when Santa attacks Mr. Green, the owner of the delicatessen, when he like dives through the fucking deli counter.
Oh, yeah.
That's called the spear. And that's one of his moves.
Good counter to the Steamroller. You know what I mean? Like I can see how those would face off well against each other.
Spear versus Steamroller. Yeah, totally.
But Vince Russo is also a strip club patron, and King Lao is a security guard at the strip club. And I don't really know who either of those people are.
Gold Diggers?
But they're wrestlers.
Oh,
yeah, at Gold Diggers.
That's so fun. I love the Gold Digger scene. I loved that so much. It was so funny. Also, it was probably because there are like 40 pairs of bolted on tits. Can you tell me if one of those ladies was the lady that Goldberg fell in love with on set and later went on to marry? Who is that?
I looked up the lady. She did stunts on this movie, so she was not credited as an actress. So I don't know if she was one of those ladies. But did you see the IMDb trivia that said she only signed on to this movie because there was some sort of miscommunication and she thought it was a Jeff Goldblum movie, not a Bill Goldberg movie? But
she had the
thank God she did, because that's her man. They fell in love and got married.
Isn't that so sweet? This movie, this is how it used to be before dating apps. You'd just be in a horrible horror movie about Santa Claus being Satan's son, and you'd fall in love.
Okay, but here's the thing.
That's
I would
all days are gone.
I would love for a Jeff Goldblum movie like this. Like, what would it be like? I feel like he at this point would play the grandpa, right?
If he were in this movie.
Yeah. But if it was made now, he was too young then. But
he's so hot.
I would cast him, I think, maybe as the He doesn't give me grandpa vibes. I guess he could be,
doesn't give you
but
grandpa
he could
vibes.
be Mr. Green maybe, or he could be the
That's
patriarch in the
typecasting.
beginning.
Yeah, I think he needs a whole different movie where they film him and they shrink him down really small, similar to what they've done to Hugh Grant to play an Oompa Loompa in Wonka. I haven't seen it
Oh,
yet.
he
I
could
just
play
saw
one
the
of
trailer.
the
He's gonna be
elves.
an elf. Yes, an evil elf. And there's a whole
Ah.
other movie and it's all about Jeff Goldblum and he's an evil elf.
Yeah, I was
I think
thinking
that
about
there's something there.
the animated scene in this movie, but then I was like, well, but the elves don't say anything, so we didn't really hear from them necessarily. But
how about this? Let's talk about the animated scene really quickly, and then let's go through all our favorite kills, because there are 41 kills in this movie. Love it when people count that for me, because I'm never gonna do it. But I was euphoric when they had that fucking classic claymation stop motion kind of scene in this. It needed it. I was like,
yeah,
wow, that upped the production value for me a lot. It was losing
where all
me,
the
and when it
budget
had
went.
that, I was sucked back in. Immediately, I was sucked back in.
I think that is so fun just because we loved mixed media for one, so that's always a slay. But also obviously there are some very classic Christmas stories and movies with that kind of animation, like we get the Heat Miser, and we see sort of Heat Miser's influence here with Santa's fire breathing abilities, so that felt related. I don't know. It was just cool to see for sure. Like both because it is fun to look at and also because it felt like a good nod to Christmas media that has come before it.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't because I just watched Jack Frost, like
the scary one
2 days ago. Yeah, the scary one, not the wholesome one. I haven't seen that one. I only watch horror movies. I watch other stuff too, but it's mostly been horror movies. And so maybe it was like a little bit too many of the really, really bad Christmas horror movies in a row. Or I was like, oh God, I can't do this. It hasn't been enough time. But that really was like, I was like, oh no, this is an art film. Actually, it's an art film. The production value is unbelievable.
This is what they call highbrow horror, actually.
Actually, yeah, they elevated it. You see that mixed media?
How did this end up in B-cember when it's such a well-crafted, high-budget, artistic? Yeah.
This is A24's first movie. Did you know that?
Oh my God.
This movie actually inspired A24 to happen.
No, you're right.
Santa Slay, and they were like, we should start a company.
We need to do something like that.
We could do this. It won't be as good, of course, but
they were watching, they broke out the eggnog. It's one of those things where you're just like sitting, drinking with your friends, and you're like, should we start a business? But then they really got it off the ground. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they've created some great stuff since, but they can never really reach that mark. But
they're
maybe
still
they
chasing
will.
the high that is Santa Slay.
Yeah. I just want to go back really quickly to the strip club scene because there's just like a lot of great deaths that happen there. I was really inspired by one thing I was upset by, but also was funny because as someone who's gone to a strip club, I understood what Santa was doing when he went to the pole and he cleaned off the pole, but it did seem like he was insulting that stripper's coochie, and that was mean, and I didn't like that. Was rude. It was rude.
And then he called them all naughty. How dare he?
I mean, they are naughty. Actually, they're good girls, so it's fine. Ooh,
wearing her naughty bracelet.
I got it at a holiday party.
Don't you love the scene where he like assaults that woman and then she's like, oh my God, and then he's like a mistletoe, and then she's like, oh my God,
and she's like, okay, then I guess it's fine.
The bouncers are literally so slow to respond. The way the bouncer's like looking at him, watching this happen, watching him point up to the mistletoe, watching the dancer walk away, and only then is he like, I'm gonna do something about this. Like, excuse me? What about the dancers?
You couldn't tell what was happening at first. But I was very actually kind of grossed out by the guy who electrocutes himself on the pole.
I love that
part.
death.
That was gross. That was pretty gross. It was like bad CGI, but I still liked it. And I also liked the bouncer of Gold Diggers when he gets choked out with the Christmas wreath and his eyes like get like you watch his like blood vessels in his eyes pop. That was gross. They had some really good fun with some jolly good fun as they were killing people Christmas style. Like, there's a lot you can do there. Like, we literally get Mr. Green being stabbed in the throat by his Hanukkah. Like, that was really funny. It was fucked up, but it was really funny.
Yeah. I liked his role though. I thought it was fun that he was like, I liked his role in the movie. He was a good opener after the opening scene. They did like that funny little joke where Nicholas comes up to him and he's like, Santa's real, and he's like, I thought your people didn't even believe in Santa, and it's like, oh my god, like everything's coming together, you know what I mean? So I thought it was an interesting addition to the film. And their deli is called Heaven Scent. Like,
adorable.
Smells so delicious. They are heavenly. So I liked that.
There's actually like a lot of really good play on words in this. Like when
a lot of really bad play on words also.
Yeah. Well, it's bad good. It's like when I don't have the quote written down, so maybe you remember better. But when the priest who's just that whole scene where he's just trying to get everyone's money, that was really funny too. But he then goes to Gold Diggers, which witnesses everyone die because all the strippers died because he blows them up with that coal. Not nice, horrible, and they were innocent. Yeah, they were naughty, but not in a bad way. And he reads all of the names and the names are so good. Testickler.
She was the main attraction that evening.
Dixie Wrecked.
Dixie Wrecked was the funniest one for me. It's a really good name.
Testickler took a second to process, and it was only once I realized the magnitude of the dick, cock, and balls jokes in this film that I was like, testicle. Got it.
Was the sheriff's name Cock? Like Sheriff Cock?
Yep.
Okay.
And then there was that moment in the car where Emily DeRaven was like, what's it with you and Cock? And then they said something about like, oh, he sucks. And she was like, Cock? So, they had a lot of that sprinkled in. And the Santa tracking app. What is the Santa tracking in real life? It's like rad something. Santa
NORAD.
Yeah,
it's gonad in this movie. So don't saw that one.
I didn't get that reference. I was like, why did they make it gonad? Like, okay, they're just like, ha ha, balls. Ha ha, like,
balls. Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
I was like, that was enough for me.
Written by men for men.
That's why all the dick, cock, and balls jokes.
It was special though. It was really special.
It was a lot. What it was.
It was a lot. Oh, also can't forget my favorite animal actor of all time, the bison, ate the valet guy. So that was really good kill too. That was really fun.
Nice to see him get his shine,
Exactly. He also was giving Appa, just saying, he was giving big Appa yip yip.
Yip.
If you're familiar. Because he was a flying bison and he also looked like almost exactly like Appa at one moment. And I was like, whoa, pretty spectacular. When did Avatar come out? Was it a comic book before it was was it an anime like written down before the show? Don't know.
Actually, maybe that's when the bad movie came out. Yeah, so the TV show is before that for sure.
Yeah, I watched it as a kid. 2005.
Wow.
Oh my god. Whoa. Somebody was talking to somebody behind the scenes.
Yep. That's weird. That is weird. Just saying. That was weird. That's weird. But I would imagine that probably Avatar came out before like what? This probably came out in December, I would say. So this movie copied Avatar: The Last Airbender. Honestly, smart, because it's incredible. It's the best show it's ever made. Anyway, we can talk about this movie though. I like that all the cops died. That was cool.
I liked there was that one cop being like, the killings are in the shape of a Christmas tree, maybe another one's gonna be right here, like the gold star on top. And then when you come out of Cox's office later, you see that he's like pinned to the board. I thought that was a good kill. I also liked the moment where Cox was just wearing his like little pink sweater with his Santa suit, and they were like, "Don we now our gay apparel?" Because I felt like that was a joke about his little pink sweater a little bit.
That's so funny. I love that. And he's the one that gets impaled on the pole, right? Later on, where there's the Santa fake out.
I think so, because he's, I think, the only other person we see in Santa costume.
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, I know that we're not there yet, but I don't want to forget because there's other things to talk about. They chainsaw him instead of the pole. I really thought that was really funny. It says a lot about the police in this town. The one police officer that's still alive, I guess, just chainsaws his body in half. God, this movie really goes all over the place. I totally forgot until right now about the whole Santa fake out thing. I really thought a whole bunch of other shit was going to happen too, because there's that one page of the book that had 3 Santas and they all had different outfits on. And I was like, is he going to like turn other people dressed as Santa into other like Norse god Santa things? And then they're going to create like Santa Avengers or some fucking shit. I was ready for it to go fucking crazy. It did go crazy though, just not like that at all.
I thought that the Nutcracker gift from Grandpa was going to come into play in a different way. It did come into play in the final curling showdown take 2 scene. Because it shot the chestnut at Santa. But I thought with all of the dick, cock, and ball jokes, I thought that it was going to be used to crack some literal nuts. And I was a little let down that we didn't get that, you know? I thought it was going to chomp some balls.
I mean, it did like jizz a nut into his chest. So.
Wow.
I guess.
Well, it was a chestnut. And that was funny. I liked that. You know, there's so many ways. They
took every opportunity for a little gag. Yeah.
Exactly. But Chelsea, it's a Christmas movie. They can't just do a ball joke. It has to be a Christmas ball joke.
It has to be festive.
Yeah. It has to be.
Honestly, festive ball jokes are the best kind.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of opportunities. There's so many. But I thought the whole showdown on the fucking ice rink was hilarious. One, just like the fact that like they're running through the high school and then they open a random door and they fall onto the ice. And like, that's how it works. That's true. They do just have the ice rink on the other side of the door, of course. I do like the Zamboni was used for evil because I just like to say the word Zamboni. And now I've gotten to say it 3 times this episode.
Zambonis are very sinister.
They are. Why they named that? Seems pretty grandiose, but it is like, I mean, it's doing a lot. It's making the ice all nice.
How many people get killed by Zambonis a year?
Google it.
Not 0.
Not
0. I'll tell you that.
Not
right?
0. I thought that the grandpa got run over by a reindeer joke was funny, but I did think it was lame that grandpa is an angel and he just died really fast and he didn't get to do anything cool with that until he showed up later. I guess that was cool that he was a ghost. I don't know. The whole angel thing was a lot. I was like, what is going on? And he gave up his angel wings for love. What? So weird. So weird.
He gave up his angel wings for love, but we hear next to nothing about grandma who he loved. We don't know what happened to Nicholas's parents, presumably also
They're dead. He's had a lot of tragedy in his life.
Okay, I don't know. I just Googled how many people die per year of
Zamboni accidents.
Attack.
But here's the thing. There is a change.org petition from 2016 to the government of Canada that is called Death by Zamboni Punishment. And it just says, every day hundreds of Canadian criminals are brutally executed by the punishment known as death by Zamboni. Please help end this disgusting massacre. And then it's a picture of somebody who's been run over by a Zamboni and there's just blood all over a
Not a real picture, like a little doodle.
No, like
it's
a real
probably
picture.
Fake.
It's fake, but it's
it's fake.
hilarious.
Yeah, Chelsea is fake. Don't worry. Is it like a fake
It's a real petition, but
fundraiser?
it's a gag petition.
Yeah.
That's
But
so funny.
it did have 9 supporters. So now it
Wow,
has
9
it.
supporters.
10,
Oh my
11,
They
gosh.
gotta
Chelsea.
stop that. They should not
I'm
be
gonna have to
killing
think
people
about it,
with a
review it for
Zamboni.
myself.
Wow. Well, it now has 11 supporters.
You've got my vote.
They did film this, I think, primarily in Canada, didn't they?
Oh, it was all in Canada except for the LA scene. It was in some like little town, and like the people in the town were like, "Oh, you're calling it Hell Township? That's pretty accurate." Hee hee hee.
Oh yeah, it said that on IMDb trivia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best attempt to pronounce what I think it might be. Wetaskiwin. But apparently
That sounds right.
I know. I was like, that sounds like it could be right. Don't know for sure. Who can say? But they did a lot of set dressing in the town to have fun with it. That didn't end up making the final cut. But again, more evidence of their little jokey jokes. The Bank of Montreal there became Bank of Snow with a little snowflake on it. TD Bank became Hell's Bank because the town is called Hell. And the Royal Bank of Canada was changed to a business called Stinknecula Software with the cartoon vampire as its logo. So Stinknecula Software, I think, is quite the name.
Okay, speaking of
really
vampires,
beautiful.
I love when he's like shining the flashlight at Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, "I'm fucking Santa, not Dracula." Hilarious.
Oh, yeah, that was so fun. Oh man.
I also just liked the jokes about hell in general, because there's like that one in the beginning that I think maybe was actually pretty clever upon second review. Because when you're watching it the first time, you don't have the full information yet. But Nicholas says like, "What the hell?" Or he said, I don't know, he says something like that. And Grandpa says, "Don't be throwing the word hell all willy-nilly like that." And he says, "I live in hell for Christ's sake." And then Grandpa says, "True. That's why you dare not use the Lord's name so indiscriminately." And I think they're talking about hell as like the word that you shouldn't say. That's what he gets scolded for. But they slipped Christ in there to throw you off before you get the lore about Santa being the son of Satan and be careful what you say and like Santa's the evil one, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So... And the reveal where he's like, "You said you'd go to hell and back looking for me, so I went straight to hell." But I didn't get if that meant he was like hiding in hell because he thought he would be less likely to look there, or if he was placing himself in hell so he would be positioned for a rematch because Santa was going to go straight there.
Oh, Santa would know where to find him in hell.
In hell.
Yeah, they've said it almost like it was like I was hiding from you so you'd never find me. But if he said he'd go to hell and back, like obviously hell's the first place he goes to and then back is the second, So I didn't fully grasp what they were trying to do there, but I didn't make it to that moment on my rewatch, my reskim. So
they were really trying to do it all.
They were really trying to do it all. The gun transformer, I also thought was what an interesting inclusion. I didn't know they made transformers like that looked like guns.
Like everything that happens between the main guy and Emily DeRaven was just so fucking frustrating. Remember that part where he's like, "You must think my grandpa's insane." And she's like, "No, I just think he's odd." And then he's like, "I'm going to insult your dad really meanly right now.
It's weird. Your dad has extinct animals and you brought us Wolverine, you little bit." Yeah, he really goes off on
who's
her.
a freak? Your fucking dad. Yeah. Like, what? Like, she was like, "No, he's just a little odd."
I don't think he's bananas.
You would know about odd shit because your dad's insane. Like, okay, dude, like you've never spoken to a woman before. Like, calm down.
I love my like favorite little line that was in this whole thing was when he's trying to like push her through that like tight space, the glass or whatever. I don't remember what it's supposed to be. And he's like, suck it in. And she says something. And then she's like, you're going to have to push from the top. And he was like, and he's like, am I going to always have to make the first move? And she just shoves his hands on her tits.
That part was something else. Oh,
what a
God.
film. What a film.
Oh,
yeah.
What a film.
Okay, wait. Because they acted like they were hiding in hell because the reveal was that Nicholas had written a letter to Santa at some point, and so Santa had his address directly from the letter, within which it was revealed that he did ask for an easy bake oven, even though he told what's her face earlier in the movie, I always got like an easy bake oven or whatever instead of Optimus Prime or Castle Grayskull, and it's like it's
not gay to bake, dude. Okay,
it's not gay
like
to
come
bake.
on.
Yeah,
everybody
all the hottest guys
treat.
are on Bake Off. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maddie. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, this is a crazy movie. It was fucking insane. But it was fun. It was really fun. The wrestling aspect of it really drove it home for me.
You want to know what really hit home for me was
what?
So at the very end when they all are shooting the flying
at the bison.
Yeah. And her dad comes with like a bazooka or whatever.
Yep.
And the guy Vinny,
maybe he's a freak.
The guy Vinny, who he gets it from, has to use like a little thing because he's a smoker. And they're like, Vinny got this for me, and he goes, yeah, I had to use all of my llama bucks, and it cost me a lung. And I don't know if your parents were smokers when you were a child, but my dad was, and he was a big Camel Light fan. And so in the 90s, Camel had Camel Bucks, and you would get like in the packs of cigarettes, you would get these little like dollars that you would like turn in for like merch, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool.
And because Joe Camel was my best friend, and I had so much fucking Joe Camel merch.
Such cool Joe Camel merch. I've seen some of the vintage shit. It's so sick.
I had all of them as a small child, to the point where like in first grade, they literally told me that I could not have my Joe Camel backpack, my Joe Camel lunchbox, my Joe Camel pencil pouch that I would carry. I would wear Joe Camel shirts. I had a Joe Camel plushie. Did
you have the koozie, the big of his face,
of his head?
That's like of his head. Oh, I've seen that one.
We had like a little like plastic mug. I had more Joe Camel merch than I knew what to do with.
But
don't smoke. But if
this
you
is why they had to
smoke,
get
you
rid
might
of.
as well get merch out of it.
We had Mark used to have like a jacket, all this stuff. I have a bunch of like Joe Camel lighters. Like
that's why they banned all that shit, because they did too good
so
of a job. Because they did a fucking great job.
Honestly, I think I want to start like collecting Joe Cool stuff again.
God. I was like, I thought you were going to say
I think I'm going to start smoking.
I was like, no.
I've never stopped smoking. I've never stopped smoking. I love cigarettes. I'm allowed to slowly kill myself if I want to. I'm an adult.
I only do it when I'm drunk. Anyway, don't tell my dad. So, who said he was going to try to start listening to the podcast? And I was like, please forget.
What if you didn't do that? Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah.
And my aunt was also like, how do you play it? Here, play it so I can see it. And I started playing it, and I was like, okay. And now we're turning it off before we actually started talking. Okay, do we have more like movie things to say before we do segments?
I just liked that it was a curling showdown ×2, you know? I thought, what an interesting way to wrap this up.
I liked the portal to hell. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, they chestnutted Santa right back to hell. I liked the end where he was like getting on the plane, sneaking away, North Pole Air. I liked the part that Mr. Green gave him the clock in the beginning, and as Grandpa tells us, all gifts should be practical. And Mr. Green in the beginning draws his attention and is like, look, Iceland time zone is on here. The Book of Claws is written in Icelandic, so, you know, it really came together nicely. But then Santa had the reveal where he's like, I'm at the North Pole where all the time zones converge. So actually, I don't have to listen to any of this. And it's over when I say it's over. And I liked that this movie followed what we were talking about last week with Grindhouse. You know, audiences today are primed that you have to stay for the post-credit scene, so you're not going to walk out of a double feature. And thank God Monica and I let these credits play because there was a post-credit scene here too. Did you see it, Sydney?
No. And
he comes back at the end. He comes back at the end, and he says something that is his wrestling catchphrase, I think. Oh, he says like, "Who's next?" or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, so good. What was I gonna say? I had something good, but it's gone.
Was it the fact that Grandpa was in Silent Night, Deadly Night 3?
Oh,
another bad horror movie connection.
I love that. He's got a history of being in shit flicks. I love that for him.
You know that Goldberg and Emily DeRaven share a birthday, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas, upon which the events of this film take place.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it wasn't either of those things, and it will either come back to me or it won't. But either way, this was quite the film. Oh, I remember what it is now. What was it? Was it you who was saying it last night, Chelsea, where we were like, oh, this movie definitely has all the 3 Gs?
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely
all
got grime, gore, and genitalia. So
gore for sure. Genitalia and all the little dick cock ball jokes.
Exactly. And there's nudity.
And there's nudity and grime, as evidenced by the fact alone that he wiped down the stripper pole. So, you know, he sanitized that.
And there's a fart joke, so I think that counts.
There you go.
There you go. Anyway, time for our segments. How could this movie be gayer?
Well, as discussed, Gwen's husband, notorious bisexual.
I agree.
Bisexual man.
Captain Cock. In his gay attire, his pink sweater, maybe gay.
I thought it was suspicious that our main boy was not as into Emily DeRaven as I was, and so maybe he's just not into women.
Could be on the ace spectrum.
Exactly. Or he's just not into women.
You know, he's figuring it out. He's taking his time.
Figuring it out. He's giving a little bit of a cutie twink vibe, so can go either way.
I bet you a lot of those dancers at Gold Diggers are not into men at all whatsoever. So I bet there's something there.
Totally. I definitely can see that. May they rest in peace. Yeah.
Would have been more interesting though, I think, if the Mac and Nicholas relationship, the Mary Mac, if that was gay in the film, I would like that.
Ooh, that would be fun. I just it's hard for me to watch this movie after I just saw What a Wonderful Knife, which is so fucking gay. They made everything gay. So I was like, it's a holiday horror movie. Everything should be gay. And it wasn't. But, we've got a lot of great edits here. Okay. Any other gay thoughts to share?
I don't know. Maybe the daughters in the beginning, they could be gay,
They could
we didn't get much about what their life was outside of the family unit.
I just thought that one girl who wanted the Kate Spade purse had a cute dress on. That was my only thoughts about them, and that they were mean. Okay, well, that brings us to where would Matthew Lillard fit into this film?
I think he could do an interesting job as the pastor, potentially. Because that was kind of a fun little role where he gets to be theatrical and dramatic in the church, but then he's also going to the strip club. I don't remember what his death was exactly, but I think it probably was one of the good ones in the movie.
I don't remember either. Did he die? He has to. I don't remember.
Must. Maybe he makes it.
Oh. Well, I think he would also be funny as one of just the other patrons at the Gold Digger who does have a death that I remember. Like he could get electrocuted. That would be fun. Or one of those there. I thought those were some of the most
One of the
Fun
security
deaths
guard
for
that
me.
gets stabbed with the lime knife.
That one was funny. I want something bigger for him though.
Okay.
He could have been bisexual king at the beginning who dies immediately.
That's true.
I think that would be funny, but also I fucking think it's hilarious that it was Chris Kattan. Like, I really think it's really funny that it was Chris Kattan. So, I don't know, but he could have been one of the celebrity people in there. Switch it up a little bit. Have it be a son and a daughter for the family, because he would. Well, I guess he was.
Cock.
Oh, he should be Captain Cock. He would look great in pink.
And, with the Santa swap, where the whole thing where they're like, oh, this is our killer Santa. And Nicholas is like, let's not scare everybody. We'll just let them think that. Matthew Lillard gets typecast as the villain a lot of the time. So you could play into that in this casting.
Exactly. That'd be perfect. Okay. I like that. Now we're on to dumb bitch. Who is the dumb bitch of this movie?
I don't think it's Grandpa, because he did some prep work and he's an angel. But I also feel like for somebody who knew exactly what the deal was and what was going on, he was still kind of underprepared.
I agree. I agree. I don't know what his plan was really, and he didn't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, he didn't loop Nicholas in at all. And it's like, is this a family legacy that we're doing? You know what I mean? He didn't have Nicholas out here practicing his curling or anything like that. He left a lot up to the elements. Yeah. So I don't know what his plan was exactly, other than hunker down in the bunker, which seems like a bad plan.
I don't know. Hunker in the bunker. Great name.
It is a good name. It is a good name.
I have a nomination, which seems a little obvious, but my reason for it is special and different, actually. I think that the dumb bitch is Santa. Just because, let me finish, he sacrificed Appa's body to do his ruse with the fake Santa. He put the fake Santa up there as a decoy, and he wasn't there to protect his beautiful flying bison boy. And that is animal negligence, and how dare he? And the bison is the smart bitch of the movie for me. This was just for me. I'm just upset because he shouldn't have died.
I agreed. This is like right there with like how the dog shouldn't die. Even though we saw guts, I choose to believe that they missed.
He exploded into millions of people.
Yeah.
He's a magic flying bison. You think he can be taken down by a simple bazooka?
Well, we saw that fucking Santa had to take an airplane to get home, so I think it's safe to say that he exploded into smithereens.
No,
maybe he respawned in the North Pole.
I hope so. I liked, remember when his nose was red for a second and he was Rudolph the Flying Bison for just a second there? I was like, okay, they're really doing it all. They didn't forget about anything.
Who else was the cops were dumb bitches, the cops, especially who came to the deli, they were dumb bitches. They were not buying anything. They were being mean about the Hasidic Jews outside. They made what I suspect it was written by a Jewish person, so I'm going to go ahead and say that it was offensive but funny. When they made a joke about Shlomo's name, it was not right of them to make that joke, but it was they saw the shot and they took it.
I totally missed that.
They were like, what, is it a movie going in? They made a slow-mo joke. I don't remember what the joke was exactly. But they were rude. They were rude cops.
I think that the dumb bitch should be the grandma, because she was the meanest out of everyone. And she called Emily DeRaven a whore or something, and that was mean.
Oh, Mrs. Talbot. I was like, the grandma? We never see her.
The old grandma lady.
Yeah, Mrs. Talbot.
No, she was iconic. What a slag.
She was iconic. I did write in my notes that she was iconic.
Someone. We're over 117, so we got to wrap it up.
Well, it's not her. I also put in my notes kind of iconic.
Yeah, it can't be her.
Okay, jury's out. We're moving on to Knives Out of 5. So how did, I know this is rated very high. I'm sure it's got A+, A*, all across all of the platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't find the information for the budget that you were talking about earlier. Not that that is super related, but I only saw on IMDb trivia that it says, or IMDb regular, it says it made like $6,000, which can that be right? I don't know. 7,000, excuse me, 6,982. Can that be right? I do not know. But it was interesting to look on Rotten Tomatoes and say, well, the movie doesn't have great numbers. It had a lot of reviews from the audience. So I'm going to go ahead and say this movie, audiences and critics don't necessarily think it's that good, but I'm going to go ahead and call it beloved, maybe. Because on IMDb, it has a 5.3 out of 10. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 40% rotten from critics and 44% rotten from audiences. But it has 5,000 audience ratings, and compared to only 5 reviews from critics, that seems like a very high proportional number. So I feel like a lot of people are out here watching, engaging with the film, so
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll go first on this one because I think that this movie is very fun. I think it's a hoot and a half. I think it's also a garbage trash can fire. And you can have both at once. You can do it all. This movie did it all. It had stop motion. Okay. It did everything. And they threw everything at the wall. Some of it stuck. Some of it was racist. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know how low of a score I want to give it. I don't want to be that mean. I didn't hate it. I had a good time. I'm going to give it 2.8. How about that? Or 2.7. 2.75, right in the middle.
Okay.
There you go.
Split the diff.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 2.5 knives out of 5s, I think. And that is subtract some points for all of the dick, cock, and balls jokes because some of them were low hanging fruit. Also a dick, cock, and ball joke right there. And but some of them, like Gonad is kind of good based on No Rad. You know what I mean? Like they saw an opportunity and they took it. So minus some, but then they win some back, and then they also won points for the animation sequence. So that's where we settle at 2.5, I think.
I think it's fair.
The animation sequence was so good because it's like my favorite type of Christmas movies were all in that animation style. I am gonna give this a 3. I really like.
She's a wrestling girly.
Go ahead, girl, okay? The wrestling aspects of it really brought it there. You know what I mean?
This stunt work and that stuff, like the rolls and the moves, and in the beginning when he's on the table and he smashes it down,
He's a professional.
It was a smart move to hire a wrestler to play Killer Santa Claus. He's got the skills. He's got the skill set necessary.
I liked all the ball jokes.
The ball jokes were very funny. No, I didn't detract for that. I just detracted for the racist shit and the treatment of Emily the Raven.
It was a film of its time,
Yeah.
People didn't know better in the early.
Okay, well, 3. I love that you loved it. That makes me happy. It was a sleigh after all. So
it was a sleigh.
This is a certified sleigh.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of Santa's sleigh. And it brings us to a sad parting for the year of 2023. It's our last episode. We are going on hiatus for 2 weeks. Calm down. It's fine. Fucking relax.
We did this last year. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. We gotta take a break. We gotta,
recharge.
Yeah, fill our bellies with a bowl full of jelly or whatever the fuck you do.
I've got to go
the holiday.
back to LA. Don't worry.
Yeah, she has to.
We got to see her one more time before the year's out.
Exactly. And so, we're going to take a break, but we're going to come back guns blazing. Not necessarily guns. I don't know if there's guns in this movie because none of us have seen it.
My guess is no guns,
there
but
could
be surprises.
People might bring guns when they're skiing. We were just talking about this. Maybe
skiing and shooting.
We're skiing and shooting like in the Olympics. If you're thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? We're talking about, I don't know what year it came out. Frozen, not the Disney
2010,
movie.
I think.
2010 classic Frozen, not the Disney movie. This came before that. This is a movie about skiing or snowboarding. I don't know what they're doing. Again, I haven't seen it, but they're at a ski resort and they're on the ski-doo. Not the ski-doo. That's not what it's called. The ski lift. I don't ski. Can you tell? And then something goes wrong. And I will have you know that I've been wanting to watch this movie for 5 years. My friend Marion told me about it on a road trip and described every single second of the movie to me, like did the entire plot of the entire movie. So but it was 5 years ago and I have the memory of a goldfish. So don't worry, we're not spoiled. But it sounds fucked up. And it sounds like a movie that's going to make me feel vindicated about not wanting to ski or snowboard ever again in my life. And so there you go. And it's also winter. There you go. That's why we're doing it.
Winter.
And IndieWire did an article on it and said it was good. So,
well, if IndieWire did an article on it and said it was good,
then it's probably good.
Publications, okay. But anyway, so we're doing Frozen. So get ready to bundle up and be scared and never ski again with me. You can do the après ski with me. I'm just trying to convince people to drink with me at the bar at the ski resort while everybody else is shredding.
Somebody's got to stay home and make soup, right?
Please. No, we're not staying home and cooking, Chelsea.
You're not
oh my
make
God,
soup for when I come down the slopes and I'm cold.
No, I'm going to the ski lift place in
and
my cute little ski suit.
You can't
and
set up a crock pot back at the lodge.
You're gonna help me with that. It's back at the lodge.
I'm going skiing.
And you can do it before you go skiing.
You're not invited. You're just been uninvited because of you're forcing me to be in the kitchen while you're out having fun. Sydney and I are at the bar and we're not helping at all. We're wearing muffs. We have a muff. We have a big fluffy hat. Anyway.
Yeah, we're just here for the aesthetics.
Exactly. I want a ski suit so bad. Anyway, we'll talk about it more in 2 weeks. Okay, poll question for Santa's sleigh. I have 0 ideas. Oh, I have an idea.
Did Santa slay? Yes
Did
or no?
Santa slay? Yes or no?
Okay, well, that's good too. But I also was like, it could be like, what's your favorite dick joke from the movie? And then
you're gonna go through a list, all 64 of them.
Okay, fine. Never mind. We're gonna do Did Santa slay?
That's the open question.
I don't want to write that shit up.
The open question is, what's your favorite dick joke?
Exactly. Perfect. Done. Easy. Okay, well, it is Christmas. And you are listening to this podcast. And that means you must like us. So why not give us a 5-star review as a Christmas present? Give back this holiday season to Spooky Tuesday with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Or if you really want to give me, Monica, a present, please subscribe to our YouTube channel because I am trying to get us to 200 subscribers and we're really, really close. So hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we'll already be there. But maybe we won't, in which case, give us that present. We're at Spooky_Tuesday on YouTube and also everything else except for Tumblr and Facebook, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. And I just want to say ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays, Spookies. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you 2 Tuesdays from now.
2 Tuesdays.
3 Tuesdays.
That's 3 Tuesdays?
3 Tuesdays? We're only taking 2 weeks
Next
off.
Tuesday's off.
Oh,
Tuesdays after that off. The 3rd Tuesday, we will see you.
We'll see you 3 Tuesdays from now.
3 Tuesdays. Oh my
See
God,
you
a
next
Tuesday for each of us.
Tuesday.
A Tuesday for each of us.
Shut up, Chelsea. She was like, did I slay?
No.
I thought that was good.
Wait. Bye, Spookies.
I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamra Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Captain Tamra, and our podcast art is by Mary Murphy, who you can find on Instagram at the_moon_OMG.